So good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here, actually, and share a bit of my experience with you. Today, I'm going to talk about competition, although I don't believe in competition, but today's market has become really very saturated because there's this thing that everybody wants to become a wedding designer. I mean, your assistant wants to become a wedding designer. The florist who's doing art floral wants to become also a wedding designer. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of my work and my company. We have 3 offices, in 2 in the Middle East and 1 in Paris. And just to show you the details and what we do, and then we're going to come back to our subject. Okay. The point is that today, actually, we are designers, and there's people who think, create, innovate designs, and honestly, I respect this in the industry. And we have designers copying designers, and we have, people who are not even in the industry, but they are amazed with the glamour and the fame of this industry, and they don't even know anything about it, and they want to become designers. So today the problem is social media is not helping at all, and we all know that it's not really true. The thing is that the client is becoming a bit ignorant, and he wants what he's seeing on the picture. And the client isn't going into details to see the perfection, the work that we do behind all this. He just wants the picture, and he's okay about it, because today also we have a low consumer, and it's becoming a little bit fast, so people want to pay less, get more, and that's it. So that's a big problem, because even though we try to be very different, okay, the thing is that the customer is paying, the client is paying, and you really need to attract him in a way. So he's like, okay, this is my guy, and those people are not what I want. And this is difficult because everybody, I consider that every contract you didn't sign, that you should have signed, well, is competition today. So, how to deal with this situation today? Well, you need really to stand out from what's happening in the market. And this is my only obsession myself, actually, from years. And this is why I'm always questioning myself every day and in every wedding I do or every event I do, because I really, really need to provide something that people can't have easily, okay? So, first of all, you have to find your difference, and you have to have a real difference, not like pretend having a difference, okay? So it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of research of, am I really different? And this is why every project I really look at it and I'm like, okay, did anybody do that in the world? Because, you know, I mean, we could get the same ideas sometimes because we're inspired by the same fashion, we're inspired by the same what's going on in the world, right? So and it happened to me like, oh my God, I thought the same thing, but now I have to change it because my wedding is in 6 months. I do have the time to do that. But still, you have to find your difference so people can see that and come to you. You have to deliver extraordinary. Extra today is becoming almost basic, because basic is a no. Nobody wants basic anymore in our industry, because once again, I mean, for cheap, they can get wow. Now, it's not a good wow, but still a wow. Still, you get into this ballroom, oh, chandelier, flowers, everything. Then we don't care if the chandelier looks like plastic, but it's still a chandelier, right? So you have to deliver this extraordinary service and search for like exclusive suppliers throughout the world. You know what I discovered through my experience? That to make a difference, we can also search for people who does things not only for weddings. Like it could be for, I don't know, for couture, and we get them in our weddings. It could be art, that it's only displayed for houses or hotels or whatever, but get them in our weddings. And that makes like the plus, the extra that you had, the idea. And it was just there, actually. So now also, you cannot ignore what's happening in the market. And that's the whole idea. You need to connect to know about your competitors. If we want to call them competitors, but anyway, we need to connect and know what's going on all the levels, because once again, you have to know why people are going there, why even they are asking them for quotations, or they even are going into their offices. What do they do exactly? How they communicate on social media. Maybe you won't do the same, but you just have the knowledge. And I myself tried to deny this for a long time. And I was like, I don't care. I'm Toni Breiss, I'm gonna do it my way. Well, you know what? No, because today it's not working like this anymore. You have to know what's going on in the world, and then you adjust, or you take a decision and say, okay, they are doing it like this, okay, I'm above that, I'm different, I'm whatever, I want to do it, but you have to do something that works. Because if you do it only for you, you're not going to get the cash, and you have salaries, you have to be paid, and everything. So you have to accommodate with what's going on in the market. Then something that could make you very different, actually, is how your client live the experience of coming to your office, requesting you, preparing his wedding. Well, I'm talking mostly about weddings because we really do big weddings. Live the experience, because you're with them like 6 months, 8 months, they are calling you always. So what I do, we are very available. We are humble. We put ourselves for the client, not with the client. Even though they are milliardaires, they are spending millions and everything, you are not the client. And the client doesn't like this idea, like you can be on the same level than him. No, he is hiring you. It doesn't mean you're under, but it means that he's the client. He's paying, he's the boss somehow, and you are guiding his money, as Jennifer said. You are managing his budget in the perfect way you can for him, but actually in the back of your head, it's for you. You're creating a portfolio, you're having the fame of being the designer, but the clients are paying, right? So you have to make him feel comfortable, at home, loved, because they will spend hours and hours with you, and this is how, psychologically, you know, there's a period of psychological where people want to pay and where they don't want to pay. We all know that a month before the event, people are ready to spend. 8 months before, they are not ready to spend the same way, right? So if you get connected to them, at the end you will arrive like they want to spend this money, and you want them to spend this money for them and for you. So bingo, we're winner. Okay, one thing very important, actually, I didn't say that. A client came to me one day and she said, you know what, Toni, beside everything you do, guys, your work is accurate. And I was like, oh my God, I mean, that's a compliment. What does it mean? She was like, it's accurate regarding what I see in the market. What you see is what you give your client. And actually, this is what you do. We even give more, but never less. This is why it takes hours of preparations, availability. I'm personally very involved in every wedding I do, wherever in the world. So that's very important to be accurate. They go out of this wedding and they see like, oh my God, I mean, we paid, it was worth it every penny. And this is like, oh, the biggest compliment you can get, right? So, about your competition. Your competition can be a stimulation for you, because we all know sometimes a bit tired in the industry from many things happening in the world. We're tired that people are not paying what you want to pay, that after 15 years of career, you still have to say, well, you know what, trust me. And you're like, okay, you didn't get it, you have to trust me. And then that's it. I mean, I did my proofs, everything is here. Just trust me, but it's difficult to tell people, trust me giving me 2 million, trust me giving me 10 million, trust me, because it's not only, okay, I'm trusting you, it's trust me, pay your money, and let me tell you one thing. I pay people 100% before the wedding day, which means I could have been a milliardaire now if I take all this money and not deliver the weddings. Because if you're taking 2 million, 5 million, and you don't deliver, bingo, right? So people are paying something that is not, they don't touch it. Full. I mean, a car, you buy the car, you get the car. But you buy my design, you don't get the design until the day of your wedding. So it's hard to make people pay that amount, right? So it's a whole psychological thing. This is why when your competitors, you see what's going on in the market, you're like improving yourself, you want to do things differently, better, to attract like that client. Because today, the quality clients are very little, honestly. And they are divided in the saturated market. Because we have planners in Dubai, planners in USA. I mean, designers. This is other than planners. We have designers in Australia. We have in France. We have in the whole world. And there's like 5 big weddings per year worldwide. When I say big, it's like big. We're talking big. So 5 and like 20 best wedding planners worldwide. Okay, so what are you getting? To do what? The lobby? So it's really hard, right? So when a client feels that you're like, okay, with your competitors, you know what? She came and she's like, okay, I mean, I saw this and yes, it's totally your right to see all the competitors. It's fine. So it makes you like trustworthy, like, okay, I don't have anything to hide. If you want to go elsewhere, go. Wherever you feel comfortable, it's fine with me. Then it puts the customer first, not your work first, which means you care about them having their dream weddings, even though it's not with you. So it's fine. And this is what I say to my clients. You know what? Even if I don't do your wedding, it's fine. But, be happy. It's fine. We cannot have this link. Maybe I'm too much for you, maybe whatever. But I'm not your style. But whatever you get it from elsewhere and be happy. And now that I think the more you're secure in what you do, the more the challenge is, it's friendly. I mean, there's space for everybody in this world, right? And again, and I say what I said, I do respect every designer who innovate, who work on because the industry is really a very, very nice industry. And I'm passionate about what I do, and I want to keep it the same level with my colleagues. But when it comes to see like this basic rubbish work, and the clients are eating from this, you're like, oh my God, what's going on? I mean, please wake up, right? So, yeah. So, again, to be different and to sum up with the competition today, we all know that we have to be up to date in everything. Even if we know we love classic, well, classic is not working anymore. Classic high-tech, maybe. Classic modern, maybe. Classic contemporary, maybe. Which means you need to change. You have a style, yes, okay, but we're done. We're done with like this, we're done with like that. It works for 10 years. But then it doesn't work anymore. So you have to be always up to date. You have to search for new materials, new people. You have to think a little bit differently. But when I say differently, it's like, okay, let me give you this example. There's a huge wedding going on, 20 June 2020 in the Middle East. We were 3 people on it, 3 big designers. Respect, no problem. So I was like, I definitely want it. I'm not looking for the money, I'm looking for taking this from my competitors. And I was like, okay, cool. Who are they? Point. How do they think? They will give her this, I'm sure. Because when you see what they do, you're like, okay, the guy is thinking like this. It has been years thinking like this. Okay, fine. So I was like, okay, it's the same theme because the clients want that theme and we're competing on that theme. But you know what? I want to get her that company that is in Chicago that does this thing because I'm sure my competitors did not go that far to think about those people. I'm going to put this in the front, and she's going to be, oh my God, that's new. That's definitely new. It's even new for me. Now, would I really do it in the wedding? Does the budget fit? Let's see. But at least for the first presentation, she's like, oh my God, that's new. And we got it. We got it because I thought really very differently. And I asked from my team to go really further, a step further, to go like out of this boredom. And if she doesn't like it too much for her, well, you know what? We're not too much. She's too little. So, thank you. So you have to choose the creativity. We talked about that. Sorry, I'm looking to my timer. I'm fine. Also, I think the teamwork is extremely important. Your employee, okay, you are the designer, fine, but you are not doing everything. I have 3 offices in the world. We're opening the 4th one, but I'm not everywhere. I can't. Although I'm managing everything, but I need people who are a little bit like me. I hired an architect just because she have red hair. I said, okay, you know what? She has this red hair. She must be crazy. She must be, I don't know. She must have something, okay? Well, it ended up she has something. She doesn't have everything, but she has something, okay? Maybe too crazy. But anyway, the idea is to have people in your team who can follow you. And, I mean, I could look classic, but as you saw, I have a red sock. But I'm not that classic, and I don't want people to come and say, okay, déjà vu, okay, done. I've been 15 years. I get bored myself. Sometimes I look to my portfolio, I'm like, okay, we're done now. This year, no more flowers. more metal. This, I get bored from myself, so I can imagine how the client would think, right? So anyway, hire people with different perspective. And yes, we need inspirations. We definitely need inspiration. I mean, myself, I always look for inspirations everywhere. Sometimes, believe it or not, I'm blocked. And I'm like, oh my God, I have those weddings to design, and it's not going through. I'm tired, I'm stressed. It's not the period. So, and it happened to me like last year. I was like, I have those weddings, I have to pull them out because it's time. So I went to Santorini. I was like, okay, in front of this view, like 2 days, and then I was completely rested and like, done, and that's it, and you do it. So travel gives inspirations, malls. You know what gives, this is what, I don't know if you agree, but airports. Airports, when you're at the airports, you look at those structures everywhere, and it's like, you don't have to go to Hong Kong. Any airport, look at it, please. Pay attention, and there's always an idea. In the duty-free, in the whatever, there's something going huge, and that you can reuse. So, yeah, so basically, the main point of what I wanted to say, that at the beginning I said I don't believe in competition, because I believe that I am my only competition every day. I am my only competition, and believe me, it's not an easy competition because I'm very hard on myself, I'm very hard on my life, I'm very hard on what I want to provide and give into this market, not only because I did my little experience in the market, no, because this industry, worth it, worth to have real people, real designers, not copier, not I don't know who wants to become a designer just because our industry makes money. They forget that behind this glamour, there's hours of preparations, hours of stress, hours of private life that is affected, etc., because you have to be everywhere in the world, and you need to deliver the perfection, right? So competition today is not a real competition yet. You have to consider what's going on in the world to move on, to continue living. You have to make money after all, right? I mean, we're here, yes, to produce nice event, but also to make money, right? Because we're used to some nice things. So, so as it says, I'm not in competition with anybody but myself. And my goal is to beat my last performance. Actually, it's very true, because let me tell you one thing. What I do in every wedding, there's always a stage, right, in a wedding. Band, stairs of bride, something going on. So after like a week of setup, very tired, I'm crying after it. And like, I looked at this ballroom and I'm like, could I do better? And I'm like, this time, I'm like, yes, definitely. Next time, this color shouldn't be here because it's blocking the view. And this time, although you're very well prepared. So questioning yourself is healthy. Okay? So that's it for me. Do you have any questions? We have time, so we're fine.
Victoria.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you very much. That was very inspirational.
Thank you.
My name is Victoria Purcell. I'm a hair and makeup artist and an accessories designer.
Okay.
So as a true designer myself, of a different type, of course, I do find that I am either thinking about designing or eat, sleep, breathing designing. If I'm not working hours and hours and hours designing, I'm also obsessing over it,
Okay.
which you sound to be almost similar in a lot of ways. How do you deal with burnout, and how do you stop yourself from burning out?
That's another story. Well, I'm going to give you a few secrets. It depends what designer you are, and I'm the bad designer, because yes, I do delegate, but I don't want to delegate, okay? And Level by Toni Breiss has been a dream for me, and I'm really proud of it, what I've done with it, but it costed me a lot, honestly, and yes, it costed me a burnout. I have two secrets for you. You can go do like, in Italy, there's like this place where you go for a week and you like lose like, it's called Villa Paradiso, right? It's like you go there for a week, you lose like five kilos, you're treated all the day with like massages and something like this, and you're brand new, and you're like stress relief. You're like, okay, it costs this, I'm gonna pay my client, pay it, because I need it. And believe me, in my budget per year, I have this. Then the second thing, I live on magnesium. No, honestly, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. But you have to manage, and if you're passionate, if you're a full person, because when you come to us, for example, to my company, you get the whole of me. You don't only get like a part. You get the whole of Level by Toni Breiss. It's not only me, the assistants, the project manager, this is how we do it. We don't do a lot, but when we do, this is the luxury we give to our clients. We have to be available. So sometimes it's like too much, and you're always connected, and you can say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna leave like a week to some bar and not talk to anybody. It's impossible, because you know that in a week time, the world can change if you don't answer your email or whatever. So actually, it's not an easy task. I didn't find yet how I do it. I'm just trying to deal with it. Honestly, every day, I try to deal with it, to pamper myself as I like, to have a social life, if I can, and I try to deal with it, honestly. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Toni.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Hi, yeah.
Thank you for everything that you're saying. But I actually am interested in how you got your start. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. By chance. Honestly. I think I believe in faith a lot. I believe in all those things that is gonna happen to you one day and everything. So actually I left Beirut at my 18 years old. I came to Paris. I was before in the hotel industry completely, and then I did my MBA in marketing and strategy as well. I thought that will complete themselves. I worked in hotel industry, Intercontinental, Grand Hotel, and then Four Seasons, Georges V. You learn a lot in the Four Seasons, okay? So I had to live like across the street because they beep you 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you have to be available every. You make a lot of money, but you don't have time to spend it. And that was for years, and I took care about the social department events. They were used to do a lot of business. The hotel was a lot of business, and the Plaza Athénée was more like this social, glamorous thing. The Four Seasons didn't have the fashion shows, the annual parties for the couture houses, the birthdays, the Russians' crazy parties, whatever. So we tried to put this. At the time, I was working with Jeff Leithman for that time, and we tried to create something like glamour wedding packages, blah, 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 blah. Then I was working really very, very hard. I got very well connected to the director of the hotel, was doing everything I want in this hotel. I was like, Toni, don't touch it. Then I was like, okay, you know what? I want to do more. I want to design. I always felt hotels are nice to live in, but this is not what I want. I want to design. I wanted to be an architect by then. I didn't do it. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to combine everything. And I had this Russian client. She was like, Toni, why don't you organize my birthday? Like it was like the real like Russian thing. And I was like, okay, fine, let's do it. And I started like this. I made money. And I said, okay, now I want to open my company. I opened my company, Level, in Paris. I didn't work well for 2 years. It was hell. I was doing pharmaceutical things, very basic corporate things, really. And I was like barely having money. So I was like, oh my God, coming from Four Seasons till nothing, it's like a drop. And then, actually, I did one wedding in Paris at the Intercontinental. It was really huge for Lebanese people. Really, really nice. I'm talking 15 years ago, right? The same month, I was here in London with a friend, okay? Walking like this in the road, I have a phone from Abu Dhabi. Hello, Toni, Breiss? I was like, yes. They were like, okay, you just did this wedding in Paris. I was like, yes, but who are you anyway? Where I'm Sheikha, blah, blah, blah. I want you to do the engagement party. Can you come now? And believe me, it's a true story. Can you come now? And I'm like, now when? I'm in London. So she's like, I mean, back then, I didn't have the French passport yet. I had only the Lebanese passport, so I need a visa. So she was like, okay, give us 10 hours, you have the visa. You have to come. So I was like, okay. And back then, I was like, okay, what could happen to me? I mean, I can go, I'm a guy. I mean, what could happen, right? So let's go to Abu Dhabi. And I've never went to Abu Dhabi. I mean, I don't know Abu Dhabi. So I was in jeans, everything. Back to the hotel, visa, ticket, Heathrow. I remember very well, Heathrow, Paul Smith Heathrow. I bought a suit, and I bought shoes, I still have them. Shoes, and I went to that meeting. Arriving, blah, 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 blah. You know, in Abu Dhabi, they have all the, okay. So, meeting, you take off your shoes, you go in because it's on the ladies' side. You go, and I saw this, I didn't see her, but I remember very, very well. She had this Cartier Ballon Bleu à l'époque, and it was like silver and gold. And she was, okay, I want to do my engagement. I said, like, where? I said, like, in this parking. So where? Just here. Okay, so you have to build the tent, you have to do everything. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make you silver and gold. and that was like a very new idea, the silver and gold thing. We did the engagement party. I did some money there. And then she was like a huge shot. Then she was like, okay, Toni, I'm coming to Paris. I was like, I'm available like the whole week. I took her for shopping. I took her for everything. I was like her personal shopper, consultant, everything. Going with her for dinner and everything. And then I knew there's the wedding coming on. And she's like, okay, I love you. I want you to do my wedding. Definitely. And it was like a 3,500 people wedding in Abu Dhabi. Back then, it was $9 million, but back then, so today is like $30 million, right? And this is how it started. And I was lucky enough, honestly, I was definitely sick after the wedding, definitely. But I pulled it out, I tried to make it happen as it was. It was very elaborated, but not like now. So we had this tent, it's on a website. We had this huge tent that's no pillars inside and everything, lots of chandelier from Italy, whatever. And anyway, they were like, wow. And that's it. And that's it.
Thank you, Toni.